Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Gaurav. Doing great, feeling excited, very happy to be here and talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. And I know it's been raining cats and dogs in both Mumbai and Delhi, but it's good that we are inside and talking about something that we both are passionate about, business and people transformation. So, without taking too much time, Moshmi, and before even I get onto the topic of today, why don't I let you introduce, talk about your background, talk a little about yourself to the audience for them to know a little more about yourself? Please.
Sure. Thank you, Gaurav. Thanks for inviting me. A little bit about myself. I have a little more than 2 decades of work experience as an HR and people leader. I have worked with business leaders and CEOs and entrepreneurs in setting up organizations, setting the people culture, and setting up systems, processes to aid, enable, and improve efficiency, productivity, create a good, happy place for people to work. And I've worked with the likes of Microsoft, Boston Consulting Group, Unicorn like Ola, and many other such organizations, both in India and outside. So, that apart, I also do a little bit of art, do a little bit of writing. So, that's me. So, all of these creative areas.
That's awesome. So today's topic, Moshmi, as you know, is about having the seat on the table for HR in the business context, right? And how does the HR plays a role for that? So why is this topic important to you? What is the context of this topic from your understanding? Would love to know.
Sure. The seat at the table essentially means that HR is a very strong participant in the whole process of the making of the business and the growth of the business and the leading of the business. So, the whole concept of having this distinction, HR leaders and business leaders, that should disappear, that invisible wall. Every leader is a business leader. And in fact, every leader is also an HR leader because everybody has people in their teams. So the seat in the table essentially means that HR people, the people strategy is leading from the front in driving the business. As simple as that.
No, that's great. And tell me something. Why HR? Why HR in the first place? When you graduated and got out of your education into career, what was that trigger point that led you to get into the HR field?
So, thanks for this question, and this makes me nostalgic, Gaurav. So, even as a student, I was very actively involved in many of these what we call as extracurricular activities. In my time, that's what it used to be called. I would participate in debates. I would participate in social activities. I was a poet. I was a literary person. I was managing a lot of things at college, and I also had an English literature background. So it occurred to me that I love to do a lot of talking. I have this whole creative bent of mind. I can work with different kinds of people and bring them together under a common cause. And of course, I also needed a little bit of money. So I also wanted to get paid for what I do. So everything combined, then I talked to a few people and they said, "Hey, hold on. I think you're talking about HR as a profession." I said, "Okay, then let's go for it, if that's what it is called." And so then I did my B schooling from XIMB. XLRI, XIMB are two very specialized HR colleges. So right from the beginning, I was very clear about what I want to do. So that's how my journey was.
And what are your 2 cents on people who are getting out of education now and thinking about HR as a career, right? A lot has evolved in the last 2 decades, if I may say so.
True.
HR has come from a business support function to a business forward function in a lot of organizations. There is huge transformation, both business and people transformation, which are being led by HR leaders all across the globe. So what are your 2 cents? Like, how was HR 20 years back versus today? What are the capabilities that were required then and now? And how do you think people should be thinking about the space when they want to enter?
Right. Thank you. That's a very good question, Gaurav. And when I interact with campus students, I get an understanding of what they're thinking, feeling. So here are my 2 cents on it. It shouldn't be a case of elimination for anybody to join HR. Then you're not doing justice to yourself and you're not doing a justice to the function. Let me explain myself. When people do not know any other thing, there is this whole thought process that if I can be, I'm very energetic and active and I can sell my ideas, then I should be in marketing and sales. If I do understand numbers, then let me go to finance. If I have an engineering degree, then let me go for technology. And if I am a generalist, mediocre in everything, then maybe I should try HR. Unfortunately, this is how lot of students have chosen HR, and I would really like to say that that is absolutely a wrong methodology of choosing any career, let alone HR. You should be triggered and passionate and very, very energized with the thought of doing what you do every day, each day of your life. Should wake up in the morning and feel, wow, another good day I look forward to. If you do not have that kind of a fire in the belly, then please do not choose HR. So, for the students who are in HR right now, because of a process of elimination, I'd say still it's not too late. Figure out what really makes you happy and go for it. And those who are there for the right reason, welcome to them. There's a lot that can be done. And in terms of how it has changed, I think there's a lot of understanding of the value add that people can do today in this function right from the beginning. The people who are entering this function are coming with a lot more understanding of the value add. They are also getting a little more training, which is great, or a little more understanding of other things like technology, like business numbers, like maths. During our time, we were just taught all the basics of HR and nothing else. So all of that
Absolutely.
had to be self learning. I'm happy that the shift has happened.
No, absolutely. And you know, we were talking about earlier, Moshmi, that how big the transformation wave is. So let's talk about that, right? Performance. I'm extremely passionate about performance. You know, at Joy of Performing, we are all about that. So
Right.
how much a role HR has to play in the transformation, change management, or business and people transformation for performance? What is your take on that?
So if transformation is a dish that needs to be made, HR is really the chef. So the entire process of transformation should be and is being led by HR, driven by HR, planned by HR, program managed by HR. And there are different other functions, the people who are involved in it, who play the execution role. So HR is really the conductor who's orchestrating everything. That's how it should be. So that's how transformation can happen, because honestly transformation is a result. It's not a work in progress thing. Transformation till the very end will not be labeled as transformation if it doesn't lead to the destination. So therefore, and who are the people who are taking it to the destination? It's the people really. And the answer is in the question itself. So which is the function which manages people? HR. So quite honestly, without HR being the centerpiece, nothing will fall in place. We are the people who know the strengths, the weaknesses, the potential, the limits, what exists, what are the skills that exist in the organization, what is it that needs to come from outside, what needs to be thrown outside. We know everything. We have the master plan, we have the blueprint. That's how important it is.
No, that's fantastic. I think I absolutely agree with you. In whatever organizations we've seen or done transformation, it has been not possible without
Yeah.
HR being a continuous support in that, right?
Right.
However, what we've also seen is that sometimes the HR does want to do good, and they go to the leaders, the so-called execution leaders, as you rightly said, but they want to do it. It's hard for them to take out time and do the work which is required for the change management and the transformation. I'm sure you've experienced that. How have you dealt with it in your career?
So who are the people you're talking about? The execution leaders don't have the time, or the HR people?
Absolutely. The
Yes.
leaders,
Yeah,
yeah.
that happens. Yeah, yeah. For so it's like they're BAU activities. The business as usual activities take precedence over any other priority. And that is bound to happen, which is why we need to place our cards well. So, I like to talk in metaphors. Another metaphor I always give is how you get your work done is like a conjurer's trick. When a magician is placing a few cards in front of you and says, pick up one card, what they really do is make you pick the card they anyway want you to
Hmm.
pick. So when you
Hmm.
are talking to your stakeholders, you need to know that trick. They'll have their priorities. How you place your facts, how you give the case study, what kind of storytelling you're doing will largely lead to the result that will come out of it. And that is why I use the word HR has to program manage. Nobody is obligated to look at you the way you want them to look, right?
Hmm.
So you do your job, automatically the result will happen. And this is where I think a huge gap even lies within the HR fraternity. We often do not understand this role, the program management role. So
Absolutely, and I
that's
love the story you told and the metaphor you had. Right, I think makes a lot of sense. So much learning from that. So Moshmi, let's get to the technology bit of it. Right, so we all understand and appreciate that transformation is must. Today, people are going through that transformation with the business numbers, and they need to align with the business goals. How much of a role technology plays, and versus when you had started maybe a decade back to today. What is your take on that?
So, interestingly, since I started my journey with Microsoft, which is like one of the biggest names in technology and one of the pioneers, importantly, one of the pioneers, which changed a lot of our life with respect to technology. My view about technology is possibly slightly different from many other HR leaders. I really feel technology is my first stop. If I'm on a journey of transformation, technology really is has to be on board with me, because without technology, the whole process can get derailed, it can get delayed, and it may also not even be successful, because it's an enabler, it's a strategy tool, it's a tool that brings people together, which collects data, which does a lot of things. And it is error free, it is accurate, it gives you similar results. So there's a lot of advantage if using technology. And I don't think it is possible to do it without technology. I wouldn't even dream of embarking on a journey where what technology we are using, how we are using is not clear. That has to be part of the roadmap.
Awesome. Now let's bring the cat on the table, right? AI. We've been talking about disruption. There have been so many blogs, forums which have been talking about it. Do you really think that AI will replace people in an organization? Will it replace HRs in an organization? And what do you see the AI journey look like for yourself and the organization for itself?
So I agree with you, Gaurav. There seems to be a lot of discussion on this. But I also think that HR people really are the ones who should be in a very happy place, because the some aspects of the work we do can never be replaced by AI. And let me give you another gesture in place of a metaphor on how I mean it. So, there are three types of skills that people use at work and in life in general. So, one is this, and one is this. So, these are the job roles, job skills. So, translated into actual data points, it is your coding skills, your accounting skills, or ability to use a tool, Microsoft Word, all of these are your job skills. And then you have your cerebral skills. So, problem solving, lateral thinking, conflict handling, these kind of skills, all these skills are the cerebral skills. And then you have the emotional skills, which is essentially your softer skills: communication, collaboration, team building, empathy, etc., compassion. So, your job role, job skills, any role that needs job skill might get replaced with AI, because AI can replicate it, can do repetitive work with very, very high level of accuracy and high speed. The intellectual skills or the cerebral skills, some part of it AI can do. But this emotional aspects, AI cannot replace. The emotional skills
Absolutely.
cannot be. The machine cannot think or have emotions, right? So therefore, HR people particularly should be aware of it and should not be the ones getting scared. Rather, they should be leading from the front in making that transition of adopting and adapting AI to its next logical level.
No, that's so beautifully said. And that reminds me of this wise man that I was, sitting one day and he said, Gaurav, Vivhar se vipar hota hai. So it's a Hindi saying which talks about that with the behavior, with the connections you have, with the relationships you create and nurture, business gets done. And I think it's the same, whether it's an organization or a job that you're doing, those connections, those emotions that you're talking about cannot be taken by AI. A human has to be included and take the lead, if not anything,
Right.
to get that work done. So beautifully said. Moshmi, let's shift on you a little, right? You've been a fantastic HR leader. The awards list that you've gotten is so long that I don't want to keep on talking about it. You were
Thank you.
recently named as one of the top 100 HRs in the forum as well. So, talk to me about yourself. Like, what is it that you think got you the success that you got? And what are those three learnings that you have that you want to leave with the audience? I'm sure there is somebody who's listening to this, young, want to be a great HR leader one day. What are your tips for that?
So, to begin with, Gaurav, thank you for those kind words. And I'll be honest with you, it feels great. Every time I've got an award, it just feels so wonderful. All those years and hours of hard work and doing so many things finally gets some kind of recognition. External validation feels good. Can't deny that. So that's one. And the point I'd like to make for everyone is this that when it comes to learning, when it comes to delivering, there is nothing instantaneous like an instant coffee. Learning is a everyday thing. Unlearning, relearning, enhancing your own understanding experience is an everyday thing, so you keep doing it. And please don't keep doing it with an eye on the rewards or on the results. That can distract you. Keep doing it, keep adding up, keep accumulating, keep enhancing, and soon you will get to a logical conclusion. And make your own notes, make your own studies, make your own experiences. So we are a product of everything that we do or we learn or we see. One part of us we have inherited, the other part is our experiences, and the third part is the learning. So the first two, there's an element of variability. You have no control on what you inherited. You also may not have under 100% control on what you experience, but what you take out of it, what you learn out of it, is totally in your control. So please focus on that. That really helps.
No, that's so well said. No, thank you, Moshmi. And before we let you go, we are coming towards the end of it. Let's talk about your passion, right? I'm a firm believer that how you work and the outcome that you get at your work depends also that what you do outside work. A passion always calms you down. A hobby always kind of brings about the creativity you need at your job as well. So, what is your passion, Moshmi? I think you kind of touched upon it earlier. And how do you take out time for that? How much of an important role it plays in your day to day? Would love to do. Would love to know.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to talk about my favorite topic, which is art. So, I'd like to consider myself as a novice artist, but art really is I feel a big motivator for me. I do Wadli, Madhubani, Zentangle, Mandala kind of art. I also run a social organization called Art for Heart. We curate art pieces and we auction them, and the money goes for social welfare work. So whenever I'm not working, I'm doing art. And somehow you ask me how you find time for it. Actually, I think art finds me. It's just I'm sitting, and then I get a whisper in my ear. Perhaps it's trying to start sketching. So I start sketching, and then the time just it disappears and dissolves into nothingness. It's like that. And I could have the most famous person sitting right next to me, and I wouldn't notice. So that's what art does to me. And I think the creative angle also helps me do my work better. It brings focus, brings a direction, brings a closure. These skills come out of art. So yes, that's my passion.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you, Moshmi, for your time today.
Thank you so much, Gaurav.
We love talking to you. And if anybody from the audience wants to reach out, Moshmi, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can mail me. Should I give my email ID?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Okay. It's mishi1234 at gmail.com. Please don't laugh at that email ID. Made at when I was very young. So, but I've
It's
kept
still
it.
sweet.
mishi1234 at gmail.com. So please feel free to write to me, and I would love to hear from you. And Gaurav, thank you so much for helping me remember a lot of nice things about myself and talking about them. Thank you so much.
That's great. The pleasure is ours. Thank you again.